Welcome to Reddit Repeat. Today we'll be reading from r/AskReddit, former nice guys of Reddit. When and how did you change? Basically, a few years ago, I really liked a girl, and she seemed to like me back. I sort of turned manipulative, but turns out she was just as bad. People always wondered what it would be like if a nice guy and nice girl got together. It's nothing but fighting and guilt. I realized how bad she was, and got out of it, but in the process, found out I was no good either. I changed quick after that. I'm a former nice girl who went through the same thing, just from the opposite side. I threatened to kill myself at 16 if this guy didn't love me after only knowing me for about a month. One day while we were going in circles being venomous little shits to each other, he called me manipulative, and it clicked for me. I was a toxic person, and if I let this continue I was going to hate everything and everyone for the rest of my life, and that sounded truly exhausting. I broke up with him on the spot, and honestly felt like a weight had been lifted. I'm just here to say that Mochi is freaking great. I'm going to copy and paste my previous response to a similar question. Watching The Hunchback of Notre Dame, I found myself rooting for Quasimodo through the movie, and when he didn't get with Esmeralda, I was mad. Furious. He deserves to be with her, for how noble and brave he has been. He should have her, and she should give him a chance. Then, I don't know why, but something clicked after that thought. Esmeralda clearly was happy with the other guy. I mentally flipped the script and realized I would not be saying the same if Quasi is handsome and Esmeralda was ugly. I also realized that Judge Frollo was the character who most shared my mindset at the time. He deserves Esmeralda, for he is so pure and good. Frollo being the antagonist caused me to really reconsider my thoughts on relationships, girls, and generally just the way I treated women. That was 10th grade, and while I don't have a girlfriend as a college sophomore, it doesn't bother me like it would have if I had continued down that course. Not much has changed in the 7 months that passed since I made that comment. Still no luck with relationships, but I'm trying to find new ways to improve myself. Most of my friends are girls, and the most advice I've gotten is be yourself. I do fear that I come off as a nice guy at times, since I tend to be polite and compassionate, but I think I'm comfortable with who I am. I don't expect a relationship to fall from the sky, nor do I expect anything just for being nice. But when I confide in friends about my frustrations, I worry that I come off as what I once was. I don't remember what put the thought in my head, or how I came to the conclusion, but my thought was, I want all these women. They don't seem to want me. Maybe I should focus on being the kind of guy they actually want, instead of the one I think they want. I ended up ditching the part where I was bettering myself to get women, and just focused on bettering myself. School, career, hygiene, living situation, and women coincidentally became more interested. Man, I need to forward this to a friend. I genuinely care for him, but he's way too deep in his nice guy mode, and I'm afraid he'll inch towards the incel people. He's constantly complaining about no one is interested in him, and he tried everything, whether it's paying for dinners, messaging more frequently, dressing differently. I told him a million times, it's about bettering himself and making himself a more interesting person. He thinks that'll be wasting the time he could be securing the right person. Really can't convince him. I watched my husband's BFF go down the incel route fast. In the end he verbally and nearly physically assaulted me because I wasn't saying what he wanted to hear about all women. I was so scared I didn't get to tell him the reason why he can't get laid is because A, he's 200 pounds overweight, B, he doesn't bathe, C, his car smells like ass, and D, he has never, that I could tell, cleaned his apartment. E, he can't hold a job because of A through D. I mean, take a freaking bath. FFS. Why isn't that the first thing you consider? You want me, or any other woman, to freak you without you having bathed first. WTF. Anyway, rant over. I was told that if you're a nice guy only to get laid you aren't really nice, and more of a suck up loser who expects rewards for being a decent human being. Ugh. My brother-in-law is like this. He got a girl's number then flipped shit because she didn't want to date him and told her she was wasting his time. He's a nice guy who only sees women as objects and doesn't see them as people. He's not that attractive and only finds girls who look like porn stars attractive. He refuses to go for anyone else, claiming he has standards. He's had various girls who are his friend have an interest in him, but because they are brunette and chubby he turns them down. They have to be blonde, perfect body, big boobs. I've tried to talk to him about his view but nothing helps, and I'm afraid he's going to end up alone and blaming everyone else. What a sad little man he must be. Maybe if he quit porn and got some actual hobbies and worked on bettering himself, he will be able to understand what it means to be in a loving relationship. Edit. The advice about quitting/limiting porn use also applies to everyone who felt particularly defensive in response to my comment. At his rate he'll end up having a really buff right arm, so maybe he could take up going gym and get the other one to catch up. There is a point where it kind of clicked that it can't be that it's all the women that are wrong. It followed that I assumed it was me that was wrong, which kind of hurts when you think about it. After a while I realized it at least wasn't 100% of me that was wrong. Maybe some 5% I can identify and work towards. I'm not really looking for a relationship anymore, as I'd rather work on myself for the time being. I feel it would be unfair to myself and the person I'd be with. That last sentence. As much as I want to be in a relationship, I just know that right now I would only take away from their happiness. Stopped when a friend of mine said I was basically r/nice guys in a nutshell. After that, it never came off my head, and I started to get more quiet and think before saying. Though I'm still ashamed of my old nice guy personality. But you've realized your mistake and matured. The fact that you're ashamed means you're growing. If you weren't ashamed or embarrassed by your past self, it would mean you weren't growing. At 38 I'm ashamed of my not so nice guy days. There are women out there that would cut off my balls given the chance. Rightfully so. I didn't have a friend show me the sub, but ran into it while roaming r/all one day. Between that and what I was going through in my personal life at the time, it was kind of a wake-up call. I pretty much 180'd my personality. Now I just need to fix the rest, like getting into better shape and improving my situation in life. I know I need to do those things, but damn does it suck so much to be alone while doing them. Used to be kinda nice guyish, unable to understand why no one was interested. It's them, not me. I'm too nice, and so on. Had a friend online who developed feelings for me that I did not reciprocate. Saw things on the flip side and kinda realized two things. You can't change who you have feelings for, and it's very entitled to expect someone to just feel the same way, and I would not want to date myself. So working on improving myself to address the latter. In more recent times I saw a video about incels by the YouTuber ContraPoints that helped me further question my mindset. Would be curious of what current nice guys make of the video. Loved a lot of friends that didn't love me back. Not an obvious nice guy, like I did fine with casual hookups and stuff. But I would get increasingly obsessive and jealous after finally getting close enough to want to a relationship. It truly wasn't about the sex, because we would even hook up from time to time. It's just that I have a lot of freaked up experiences in my past, and a meaningful relationship always felt like the only way I could ever be a whole person. Even as friends, I already needed to feel a lot of control and demanded an unreasonable level commitment. Except to me, it was always leading to an inevitable relationship, one that would be the deepest form of love. Full stop. Every single one of those friendships ended terribly. The last one was the worst, because I was genuinely trying to be a better person this time around and not make the same mistakes. It took a lot of therapy and thinking inwardly, but I realized that I would have been a terrible boyfriend. I was too wishy-washy about what I wanted, because all I really wanted was to feel like I was in control and didn't have to worry about the other person's loyalty to me. I was basically addicted to a person and then got upset when they wouldn't get addicted to me back. And that is the epitome of nice guy, if you ask me. Kept trying to be better person and more emotionally stable. I'd like to think it's working. Either way, my focus is now entirely on my life passions, and I feel strong, despite the vaguely hollow feeling of still not quite getting how normal relationships work. But the difference is, now I can pretty much laugh at it instead of diving face first into a pit of emotional despair. Thanks for watching our video. If you'd like more r/AskReddit content, Feel free to watch the other videos on our channel. Have a wonderful day.